Well, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Three Crones in the Woo-Woo. I am your Dragon Slayer Word Witch Crone, Gayle Nicholson, with Creative Command Coaching and Consulting. To my side, I have Miss Krista Ducharme with Dimensional Healing with Krista on Facebook. And as always, supporting us from down below, we have Damaris Samolinski with Ask the Genie with Damaris Samolinski. So, ladies, how are you doing? We've made it through the first
Good. How you guys doing? Here in New York, we're bracing ourselves for this weather. I don't know. How about you, Gayle?
I got about 4 to 6 inches yesterday. Snow-wise, it seemed to glance off. It didn't seem to really dump as much as they, warned of Snowmageddon again. But I know what's coming up is going to just nail you guys.
It's saying rain, like a lot of rain, and wind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How about you, Krista? Did you get snow over there yet?
Yeah, actually, we did. We had snow. Well, you guys were having snow, funny enough, but not a lot. It just looks like everything's frosted right now. But it's nice. I mean, it's really pretty. However, it is really, really, really cold. Like right now, it is what, -2? Yep. So it's -2 degrees Celsius, meaning it's about 24 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay.
Yeah, it's. I can say that it's not Luna weather. Luna has gone out now twice today and has quickly said, yeah, no, Mom, I'm coming right back in because it's much warmer in here.
Yeah. Yikes.
Now, you have little animals, don't you, Damaris? Are they?
I don't have any more. My son has a dog, and he has shared custody with his friend because the dog was given to both of them. So the dog spends 3 days at his friend's house and the other days here. Right now, she's at his friend's house. They have shared custody.
Yeah.
Oh.
So when she's here, she spends time with me. She stays with me in my office, so she'll, wherever I am, she goes. But she's not my dog, but I love her.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
They have shared custody over an animal.
They do. It works.
House. Yep. That's very cool. Hello, everybody who's watching from all over the world. Thanks for joining us. Let us know where you're watching from, or if you're watching on the live or on the replay. And I think we're going to do our first underwear check of the year. Let us know what color your underwear is.
I don't know. I have to think. That was so many hours ago. I have to look.
It's blue.
Give me a second. Got to give a look. It is. I'm wearing red.
Okay.
I'm wearing
Kevin, what color, Damaris?
Blue.
Blue. What color, Gayle?
It's kind of a wine burgundy color. It's not really red. It's not really eggplant,
Sue has red. Sue has red, she said.
Yeah.
Red.
Yeah, and Kevin he chimed in. He checked what color his were. He has black.
Okay.
All right, Kevin.
He's in here. Hi, Pilar. He's actually in the kitchen at the moment with me.
I heard him banging pots and pans out there looking for some attention. Hey, Kilroy, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing, Damaris?
How are you?
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, he's actually doing dishes right now.
Me too, Harry.
No excuses.
Yeah.
Love it.
Blue. Oh, black. Nice. I am loving it. Hey, and while everyone
blue is in the house.
Blue, I love it. And while everyone is typing stuff in, can I ask everyone to give, if you're loving us, do a thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up right now, right? Give us also, if you haven't subscribed, please, if you really love us, subscribe on our YouTube channel. But most importantly, give us a share out, because you can do that. So give a share out and invite your friends to watch us, whether it's live or in the replay.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for adding that, Krista. That you guys can share out to any platform you want, whether it's if you're heavy on TikTok, fabulous. If you're, Facebook, old school like me, I got to break up out of that rut. We'll get to that later. All right. So, Krista, do you have any fantastic questions for us to start this with?
Okay, actually, I kind of do. And I'm glad Kevin is in the kitchen, because it's him. He actually posed a question. And this is kind of a serious one, more so than a light, fluffy one. So Kevin last night, he brought, I was getting into a bath, getting ready to take a nice Epsom salt bath and kind of relax and everything. And, enjoy the, winding down of the evening. And he brings in this frame. He goes, I have a curious question. And I go, okay, so what's your question? He shows me this picture frame, and it's a picture of him in his uniform, and the glass is broken. Now, the glass has been broken for a long time. I have replaced it once. I was thinking about that. I did replace it once and years ago, but essentially it's been so long I can't even tell you how long ago. But it broke. The glass broke. The frame is kind of flimsy kind of thing. But he asked me, he goes, and he says in his little, sarcasticness, but yet seriousness, he goes, does this break in this glass? Is this the reason why my career went in the tank? Now, okay, people, that's a lot of tongue in cheek. The guy, 34 years, an 05, not in the tank. E1 to 05, not necessarily in the tank. But here's the question, because it got me thinking, and he was being, a little sarcastic, a little bit.
Time out. For those of you who don't understand military speak, the janitor became the CEO-ish.
Yes, exactly. There you go. Oh, he went to go get it. Oh, you can't see the crack. But yeah, there's the crack. I can kind of get the crack. Okay, so now you see. Yeah, the janitor became the CEO. Up there, he's up there.
At least he's the vice president of marketing and
yeah, he's part of the C-suite. For those who understand that, all right. So in any case, we aren't talking that it's like this massive major thing. However, kind of funny. So it got me thinking about how, because we talk about it being energy, right? How, but think about how we perceive things that happen, right? Such as a crack. Kevin associated it with a mirror breaking, 7 years bad luck. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I get that. But how often do you think about things like that? The tales of old, the 7 years bad luck if you break a frame.
Mm-hmm. The superstition we grew up with.
Yeah, that's it. Superstition. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's a word for this. Hold on, it's coming. So the superstition, because I can see where somebody would say, oh, this broken glass on a picture, means it's doomed. Something bad is going to happen to this person.
Tea leaf reading.
He's associating it with tea leaf reading and palm tree reading, or palm reading.
Wow, Krista, I love this.
So seriously, this happened.
Write this one. Wait, time out. Write this one down. We need this for a shirt. May I read your palm tree?
That is, I don't have somebody with a pen and paper, write it down for me and send it to me. Yes, that is perfect. I love it. I love it. So my question to everybody in terms of superstitions, what superstitions do you hold as one of your truths?
I could start.
Okay, you start.
I have this little angel that has wings. It's like a little angel statue.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it fell, the wings broke off, but the wings were still intact. I just had to like glue them back on the back of the angel, but I had just put them on the side. And I was like, I have to get the, the glue gun or whatever and glue it back together because I didn't want to throw it out.
Yeah.
And I just had it, sitting there like that. And somebody came in and said, Damaris, who clipped your wings? And I was like, what? I didn't associate it with my little angel that the wings had been clipped. And she says, well, your angel's wings are clipped. Who clipped your wings? And why are they still down? Like, why can't you put it back? And I was like, oh my gosh, like I didn't associate it. But yeah, I had been going through a situation where I felt like my wings were clipped. So I quickly put them back on my angel.
Awesome.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would do that. I would, that's like a superstition and association we don't necessarily think about. Gayle, do you have one?
The best one that's coming to mind for this situation right now is one that I actually shared with one of my coworkers in the last couple of weeks. And then just 2 days ago, she's like, oh my gosh, what you said to me, it changed my life. And that was something that my first office manager said to me when we'd gone out for lunch and she saw me just shove my cash back into my purse. And she said, respect your money and your money will respect you and want to stick around.
That's right.
And ever since then, I've been very careful about making sure that my cash is in my purse, all directed the right way, in an order. It might be little to big to little. That doesn't matter. Yeah. But it's respected. It's got its space. It's treated kindly. And it does, hey, I was making $7 an hour back then. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, and it's grown over the years. And this other person that I just mentioned that to, she's reporting the same results. And it never would have occurred to me, but that was back before I realized money was energy and all this kind of stuff. She was very, very helpful in my life.
Some people don't like to put their purse on the floor either. Like in a restaurant, they'll buy like a little clip and clip it there, right? Because of the same kind of concept.
Yeah. I had one of Kevin's CEO's wives long ago. She was Romanian, and she never put her purse on the floor. She said, "No, my mom told me if I put my purse on the floor, it would always be empty." Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so I was like, oh yeah, I don't put my purse on the floor. I like to put it up. I'll even keep it in my lap if need be. I need to get a hook. I've never thought of getting one of those hooks.
Yeah.
But
I had an experience with, I like ripped jeans. And I went to a lady's house and she's like old school. And she says, Damaris, why are you wearing those jeans? And I was like, what do you mean? They're in style. Like, I like them. They're ripped. They're nice. She goes, yeah, but they represent like poverty. I was like,
to her,
yeah.
To her.
I was like, but you know what? I never wore them again.
Yeah.
See, and that's how we get stuck with other people's conditioning.
Yeah.
Right. Because I grew up in a family too. If you got your school clothes snagged and there was a hole, first of all, you got your ass beat for wearing your school clothes to play, right? And then there was those awful patches they would put on, and the patch looked worse than the tear.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true though. It's true.
Yeah, no, yeah. I was really lucky. My mom being quite the seamstress. She's a better cook than she is a seamstress. But she was really good at mending. And so
that's awesome.
But now they sell them like that.
Yeah, I know, right? That's kind of crazy. Yeah, it was kind of funny. My daughter, she comes home from school, Genevieve. She comes home and she's like, "Mom, I need new pants. I only have like one pair of pants that doesn't have a hole in them." And I'm like, "Okay, or they aren't ripped or torn or something." And it was kind of funny because some of the tears that she was referring to was like, it wasn't really a tear. Her belt loop came off, or she came into. I'm like, well, that's something that can be fixed, because I'm trying to help her save her money, because mom doesn't buy everything. Just because you're in college doesn't mean I buy it all.
Right.
You got to buy other things. So no, back to superstitions and back to those things. Those are our viewers. Do you have a superstition that you kind of, that is one of your truths, that's part of your daily life, or maybe it's something that you do without even realizing it? So yeah, I mean, for me, I'm trying to think in terms of superstitions. Salt is a big one for me. If I do spill salt, I guess I do throw it over my shoulder, except I throw it over both. I don't care. I just throw it over both shoulders.
There's one. Sue's got the other one that was just coming up for me.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. I do that too. Yeah, knock on wood. I just did that, funny enough, the other day as well. I was talking to somebody. I said, "And knock on wood." So yeah, I do that. But yeah, so
do you know why we knock on wood?
No,
not anymore. I did one point
to protect us from harm. Because we always say that when something good is happening, and it's like, you don't want to jinx it, right? So we're knocking on wood to get the wood spirits to protect us from that thing going badly.
Okay.
See?
There we go.
So,
see
all
that?
of these evil religious people that knock on wood, you don't get to appropriate that anymore.
Yeah, guess what? That isn't you. Yeah. Yeah, so no, because there are all kinds of things. Don't split a pole. Okay.
You know what she's talking about, Krista?
No.
You're walking down the street hand in hand with Kevin, and there's a pole, and he goes on one side, you go on the other, and your hands unlink. That's called splitting a pole. Don't do that.
Okay.
Dr. Ray,
I didn't know that.
I didn't know.
I didn't do that. We do bread and butter when that happens.
Oh yeah? What's that?
Yeah, I'll say bread and butter, and then we hold hands again.
What about walking on a crack, like when on the road that has cracks?
Right.
I don't. That would be tough for me here. They aren't necessarily cracks, but we just have a lot of cobblestones.
We have a lot of cracks here. On the road.
Yeah, in the U.S., I wouldn't walk on cracks anyway, because I'd be afraid of tripping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those and they aren't called cracks in New England or in the Northeast. That's called frosties.
We have a lot of those on the road.
Yeah.
See, now in the suburbs, in out in the Midwest, right? The sidewalks, every 3 feet, there is an assigned crack to take care of the expansion and constriction of the concrete during the weather, right?
Yeah.
So you would see kids pissed off at their parents just hopscotching onto those cracks all the way home from school or all the way to school.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be like, your mom pissed you off today, huh? Awesome. All right, my dear. Well, let's see what the stars have in store for us this week.
All right. I really just want to talk about the Pluto and Aquarius energy on the 22nd. So just let me explain a little bit about Pluto. Pluto spends 248 years to go around like every zodiac sign. And since 1822 to like 1914, it only moved to 3 signs. So it spent like 31 years in each sign. So it was slow and moving. But after 1914, it's been accelerated more. So it doesn't spend that much time in each sign. So what that means is that it wants us to accelerate ourselves, because Pluto is all about transcending. It's all about like regeneration, rebirth, dying the old self, letting the old self die so that we could be sort of like reborn again into a new higher self, in a new higher state of consciousness. So it's been going faster since 1914. So Pluto wants, wherever your Pluto is, like for example, mine is in Virgo. So wherever your Pluto is, it wants to sort of like destroy whatever's not working within that house, within that sign, and so that you can be reborn again. So mine is in the second house in Virgo. My Virgo is in the second house. So Virgo stands for service to humanity. It stands as the healer of the zodiac. So what does that mean necessarily for me? And in the second house, it's all about my comforts. It's all about, money. The second house has to do with all of that. So, back in the day, if you will, people that did the work that we do, some people thought that we shouldn't charge for it because it's like spiritual work. And so what this is saying to me is like, no, my work is not charity, although I could do charity, but it's not charity. This is how I make a living. And so it's like transcending those negative thoughts about spirituality and about the work that I do, specifically because it's in Virgo. Virgo has to do with the healers. And service to humanity. It's about transcending the negative thoughts about that and evolving above that. It's like, no, it's not charity work. It's what I do for a living. And also transcending how I feel about healing, like what, bringing it up higher, so to speak. And, raising my consciousness towards what I'm doing, so to speak. So I don't know where everybody has their Pluto. I don't know if you guys know where you have.
For a lot of us, it's going to be in Virgo because it stays so long, stays a generation in each sign. So I think people in our, 20-year span-ish, give or take a few, are probably all going to be in Virgo. But I think the house energy might change. Like mine's in the 9th house.
Which house?
9th.
Oh, mine is in the 2nd. Yeah, mine, which has to do with money. So yours, the 9th house has to do with your philosophy in life. It also has to do with the things that you love, which may not be a person. It may be the, things that you love to do. It has to do with higher learning, higher education. So that's what the 9th house is really about. So maybe it's time to elevate that for you now. So, to a higher octave, if you will. We're always in the process of learning. We're always learning something. What else can you learn? What else can you evolve to, so to speak?
Right. And it makes absolute sense because, like, for example, in my family, we have a lot of teachers, right, that teach information, right? Yeah. But my type of teaching has always been a lot more subtle and esoteric and more in philosophy and how the universe impacts each of us. It's a different level of teaching.
Yes, absolutely.
Than the rest of my family does. Yeah.
It also has to do with your beliefs, what you believe. Like, we were just talking about the things that we grew up believing, which are, what was the word again, Gayle?
Superstitious.
Okay, so are those things sort of like guiding our lives, these superstitions, like our belief system, what it was when we were growing up to what it is now, obviously has changed. What are new beliefs that you could take on, things like that, because that's what the 9th house is also about. Your beliefs, your philosophy, your higher education, what it is that you love. Again, it doesn't have to be a person. It could be something, a thing. It could be a pet, whatever it is. So those things are breaking down in that house for you. And they will start as Pluto goes into Aquarius. When it does that on the 22nd, it will cause sort of like a shakedown. And so some people have it, like I have a client that has it in her Libra house, which is the house of relationships. Libra rules relationships. So her relationships are kind of shaken down right now, and they are. And so it's a generational, thing going on. So it's going to affect wherever Pluto is in that house will be affected. And it really wants you to transcend. It wants you to be born again in that house, so to speak. Right. Nice. And so I don't know do you know where you have yours, Krista?
No, I was just trying to look for it and I can't seem to locate it. But I'm like, well, I'm a Scorpio, so Pluto owns me anyway.
Right.
But it's the transiting.
How close are you to my age, Krista?
I'm 1970, so I'm 53.
Pluto younger than me. And then Tracy is how much younger than that?
5 years.
Okay. So Tracy, Pluto moved into Libra. For the two of us, I do believe that it's still in Virgo. All three of us have it in Virgo.
I think so. I think we're all
but the house is what makes a difference.
Yeah, I don't know what house it is. I'd have to look and I can go run and get the print to tell you. But I have to leave this free.
But like Tracy, she's got hers in the 11th house. The 11th has to do with her hopes, her wishes. It has to do also with people, communities. It has to do with causes that are dear to her heart. What causes will she create? What communities will she, invent or create for herself? So things like that, hopes and your wishes, your dreams are all about the 11th house. It has to do with, sort of like not necessarily close friends, because that would be more of the 7th house, but acquaintances, people that she works with, teamwork. What can she create as a team in collaboration with other people? That's really what the 11th house is about. That house within the 20 years that Pluto is going to be in Aquarius will have a shift for her. So she may not know what it is right now, but during the 20 years of that transit, she may develop something in collaboration with other people. So yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so that's really what Pluto is doing. And what it's doing is setting us up, so to speak, getting us ready for the life purpose. Because again, whatever generation we came in, so like we're in the same kind of generation because Pluto, right? In that we're in the same generation. So whatever it means for me, for you, and for you, Krista, is different because the house is different. But it's still transcending us in an area of our lives. Definitely. Especially with me, with money. Like I grew up thinking too, like, I shouldn't charge so much for this. It's supposed to be God's work, right? But I have to,
No, what you're charging for is your time.
My time, exactly.
You're charging for your time. Our gifts are that, but it's our time that we charge for. And when you separate the two, because time is valuable, and we only have so much of it.
Time is your life. It's equivalent to your life.
Yeah. Right? And it's when you go see a dentist, you're being charged not just for their service, but for their time. Exactly. It's when you go to the hairdresser, it's the same. It's not just for the service, it's the time.
And even if if you have an appointment with a dentist and you can't make it, if you don't call, they'll charge you for that visit.
Yeah, because it's about the time.
It's about the slot too, right?
Yes, it is. But it's that time. It's that time slot.
Yeah, and it's not just doctor example aside. It's not just the time slot. It's not just the hour that you just spent with that person. It's the decades that you've spent studying and learning this particular technology, modology, whatever it may be.
Everything.
To be able to do that for themselves, if they ever could, would take them that long to learn how. And
Yes,
in the
exactly.
reality is, for our line of work individually, you can't do those things for yourself.
Yeah.
You must
Yeah.
have a partner to help you do them for, to get it done
Yeah.
correctly. So there again, it's a matter of the value of having someone that knows what they're doing.
100%.
Exactly.
100%. 100%.
But you know what? Honestly, and I'm gonna drag out the evil capitalism argument again.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't forget that we've been operating under this for multiple generations now. So we've grown up 3 generations out of grow your own herbs and make your own remedies, right?
Yes.
So in that time, they have been undercutting and disrespecting the natural sciences
Yes.
of healing, right?
Yes.
In order to supplant it with the system, the medical sick care system that they've put in place.
Yes.
So,
So that's going to change though within these 20 years. You know what I mean? That's going to change. Back in the day, they will, medicine women, they would burn them at the stake. They would consider them witches, instead of medicine women. So yeah. So all of that is going to change. So much is going to change about the life, with these Pluto transits. And with also it has to do with technology, like I said the other day. So technology is going to change the way we have surgery, the things that, when we go to the doctor, it's all going to shift. It's all going to change. New technologies are going to be coming in. And so, it's going to be wonderful to see what the world is going to look like in 20 years. It really is. It really is. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Awesome.
I want to talk about the 9 before we move to Krista. So the 9 has to do with completion. It has to do with, when you look at a total completion or something, it coming like 360 in a 360 circle, so to speak, or cycle. 360, when you add the 3 and the 6 is 9. So 9 is completion. It's all about endings. We're getting ready for new beginnings. So whatever we need to end, how we perceive our realities, how we, have been thinking that may not be serving us, we need to end those things and take on new concepts, new ideas, a new way of being, So it coincides with that Pluto energy that we were talking about.
Yeah. Absolutely. The snake eating its tail.
Yes.
All right, I'm excited for this next segment because I did not know until I started doing the research for the graphics for this that this stuff even existed. So
this stuff is marvelous. I was so happy. Okay, go ahead.
Didn't know that existed either.
Well,
I didn't know it existed.
It is amazing, and I meant to go grab my piece. I have a large.
I need a piece.
I have a piece. It's about this big. Oh, I'll happily go shopping for it for you when we go back. Okay, I'm going. Yes, I am. It's not something that's commonly found. Lightning struck quartz or lightning quartz is not something that you can find everywhere. It is real lightning quartz the real stuff is from Brazil. Nice. And I'm sure it can be found in other areas. However, when I bought my piece, now I've had my piece almost 10 years. I've had my piece more than 10 years. I've had my piece 11 years. And when I bought it, it was kind of being introduced into the mineral world, at least to be sold. Prior to, it had been kind of tossed to the side. But lightning struck quartz, let's give you a little bit. It is a piece that everyone should have in their life. But by the way, it's not inexpensive. And it holds the quartz energy that has literally been struck by lightning. Now, how does that change? So it changes where you can see the lightning, how the lightning has struck it, how it hit it. The piece that I have, the outside has like black dots. Dots is the best way I can explain it, but it looks like somebody put the quartz under a broiler, and you can see, but yet all that formulated are little bubbles of black. And that's how it appears. So it can formulate, can have striations. It can have like the little dots. The pieces I saw there were primarily all covered in these little dots. Now the energy of it, and this is what is so amazing for the new moon that we're having on the 11th, Thursday, as well as the upcoming, and I am so excited for it, Pluto moving into Aquarius. I am actually having a crystal sale here at my house that day, and stuff. I'm having things, giving things the opportunity to move on to other people's homes before I pack them up and ship them, the ones that remain. So in any case, but yeah, the energy is amazing because here's what it does. It aligns everything. Not only does it align your energy in terms of your chakras, it aligns your auric fields. It aligns the energy that's within your space. It is a magnificent energy neutralizer and amplifier all at the same time. Now, for those of you who really are wanting to change, to see great change, especially if you're somebody who's been dealing with trauma, or past hurts, traumas, you might be doing shadow work. You might be working with things that you're just not even sure what it is that you're working with. Lightning struck quartz. It is said that it gets it down to a cellular level, not just an energetic level. It works all the way down to that cellular level as well. So the messaging or the energy that I'm feeling with this, it is time to shift, and it is time to shift in an upward and outward trajectory. I am seeing this energy. It's like it is expansive. We are meant to align ourselves and expand, and not out of your clothes. I just wanted to add that. I don't want someone to say, well, Krista said we need to expand.
Right.
It sounds like a wonderful stone, and I'll definitely take one when you come. I'll get one when you go shopping. I'll buy one.
Yeah, definitely.
I've never heard of it before.
It is an amazing stone, and definitely one to bring to definitely, carry the energy of the new year, to really get yourself excited and moving and energizing, because like last year, and we've talked about it, the energy was about working within.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I see the energy this year, it's all about expanding. It's all about growth and moving. And
if I was talking about words that you've been asking us if we have a word for the year, Gayle's word is actually really nice with Pluto energy, because Pluto wants us to become aware of the things that we need to let go of. If we don't have that conscious awareness, how can we let it go? And so if Pluto had a word for itself, I would say it would be redemption.
Interesting. Okay. That's an interesting word I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. And I have been, if you guys have your word of the year, pop it in to the conversation. I'd love to know what your word, the energy. I think that I have selected mine, and it's kind of interesting because it's one that kind of it popped up, but it's rhythm. Rhythm. And the reason why I picked rhythm is because I have a lot going on, a lot of shift, a lot of change. And I've been, for me, I feel like I've been transforming. I have been, adjusting and moving and grooving. And but rhythm for me, that's what I feel. I feel like I need to flow with a rhythm. I need to feel the beat, the vibration of what is happening next. And it makes me think of the rhythm of nature. Because like right now,
word for what's going on in your life, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And so we have a lot of things. I have a show. Sorry. I really should get one of those cameras that face him sometimes. Then you guys can all be entertained as with me.
Nice.
But yeah, the word
that
rhythm
sounds like a perfect word for you.
Yeah, I think it is for now. And I also have a sense, and I want to share this aspect because I think it's really important. I have a sense that come June, when all the big crescendo happens for us, right? I can see that there might be a shift in me picking a new word. And I'm okay with that. And so know that your word of the year may end up being the word for right now. And that's okay. That's okay. And, sometimes I've done that. I've had a word for the beginning of the year, and then I'm like, I'm kind of sensing that the word is changing.
I think I'm going to stick with mine all the way throughout.
You go for it. Yeah. Evolve is good. I love yours, Tracy.
Mm-hmm.
I love your year.
They're all wonderful. I think that they're all wonderful. It's all about growth and, stepping into who we are and not being afraid and
definitely
becoming aware, of what it is we need to let go of.
Exactly. So Miss Gayle.
Yes.
I'm going to throw it over to you, my friend.
Well, I want to kind of slide it back to you just for a second to update everybody who doesn't know yet that we are putting the Patreon on hiatus until the queen of Patreon, Krista, returns to the States and gets her butt settled.
Yes, and hopefully by that time they will have updated things to the point where then all three of us can be on Patreon with everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's an interesting structure over there. It's
well, you're in such a different time zone, so it's difficult.
It really can be. It's a challenge.
Their structure has it so that there can only be one point of hierarchy instead of three. So Krista took the lead, and we're grateful to her to take the lead, but she's carrying the whole thing because we can't get in there and do other things to assist as well. So hopefully we'll get that all settled out with the powers that be over at Patreon, because it's a them problem. It's not a us problem.
Yeah, no, it is. But, and maybe it's, the energy will shift and we'll find something else too. So I'm not, I just felt like this is good. So thank you. Something I need to mention, for those of you who don't know, I do have a crystal of the week for a printable that I shared on our page. I'll reshare it again in our friends group, or in our group, and so that everybody can print it. I do miss the magnets.
Can you upload that as a PDF in the files section of our page?
Yeah, I can. I thought let me do that. I'll do that again. So I thought I did it, but I'll double check. If I haven't, I'll make sure I do it again. And then you guys can definitely download it. I can tell you, I miss not having the magnet. I I don't know about the rest of you who have magnets, but I miss my magnet. But this year I just didn't want to do the weight. It was like carrying that. And so it'll be much easier when I'm stateside to have some of this stuff done. So yeah, I know. Look at that. Isn't it pretty?
It is. I love it. But yeah,
I love it.
Go on my refrigerator like kids are. And then I also scooped this one. Somebody else had posted this one. This is all the moon phases.
Yep, I love that. And then I have the full moon and the new moons also on our actual Facebook page. So please make sure you guys are checking. I keep adding things. I keep creating things as you know to get uploaded so that you guys are in awareness of stuff. And because there's a lot happening, a lot of really important things.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Krista.
You're welcome, Gayle.
All right, so this title just kind of occurred to me as I was looking at some of the information about that lightning struck quartz that said that, it gives you this ability to get up and out of any situation that you are like feeling stuck in. I mean, especially this past year, you look out a lot over, people that are coaches and they're trying to help you, that type of thing, right? And one of the biggest complaints that I see from the clientele is, I feel stuck. I don't know what to do, right? And they get trapped by that idea that all they have to do is declare what it is that they want, and that will lift them up out of this uncertainty and this stuckness, right? Because, well, I don't know if I'm wanting the right things. I don't know what to want, right? I don't know, everything looks so cloudy. I don't know what it is that I'm supposed to want right now, as if that's actually a real thing that you're supposed to want something or not, right? Essentially what they're really saying is, my heart's here, but my head's over here, and my sacrum is over here, and my root is just not fucking working with any of them. All right. That's what they're really saying, because when you've got, your tires or your horses extended instead of an alignment, you're not going anywhere.
No,
right? You're not. So this lightning struck quartz really is one of those things that's going to just seamlessly bring everything together. So all of a sudden you start feeling propelled, if you will. Okay. Now, let me back up a little bit. I live in Vermont now. You all know that. And there's a town in Vermont called Rut-Land. All right. And there's a reason why Rut-Land is called Rut-Land, because it's so swampy and so marshy, if you will, that when we had the horse-drawn carriages, the ruts would get so deep that your foot box would like be a plow at the front of your vehicle, your stagecoach, or your wagon, whatever the case may be. So think about that. How far down in the ruts would you have to be? Like 2 foot deep ruts, to have the bottom of your wagon dragging,
That's crazy. Yeah.
Isn't it? And yet, think about that as an analogy. That's where a lot of people live their lives. So far down in the ruts that the bottom of their wagon is dragging. Okay.
This is so appropriate too. Pluto, that's what Pluto is. It's the underworld. It's the bottom.
It is. Yeah.
Exactly. So as we're doing this, what will help us? I mean, other than a little bit of time that will solidify that mud, right? But we don't have any control over the mud. We don't have any control over the weather. What can we help? Well, if we get rid of some of this freaking baggage that we're dragging around in our little wagons, right? It might be a little bit easier to get up to higher ground. All right. I can't explain that any better than that sounds, right? We
Yeah.
need it's the last 2 weeks to throw aside all that ballast, that stuff that's doing nothing but keeping you in your ruts, right? And to take faith in that there are things out there calling us forward, right? There are things out there waiting for us to show up, that to deliver something that only ourselves as an individual has ever been equipped to show up and deliver, right? No one else on the planet can do it. So you are needed. Get rid of the baggage and come join the party, right? And trust me, by the end of January, you will know what is the baggage and what is really not. What is parts of you still that need to work on, but maybe you need those to show other people the right and the wrong of it, right? But you'll know the difference between the things that just aren't working for you, will never work for you again because you've transformed so much, and those things that you need to show people, hey, look, this is what it was like. Didn't this suck? Yeah, we don't live there anymore. Right? Awesome. Do you ladies want to put anything into that before we move on to the card for today?
No, not me. That was
It's perfect, especially with Pluto. Psychologically, Pluto is the underworld when we're unconscious of patterns, behaviors, and things that are affecting our everyday lives. And Pluto wants to redeem us, to redeem ourselves, and to atone to our own sort of, faults or things that are not serving us.
Yeah, and something to keep in mind too, because like I said during my segment, we're going in new moon. We are in new moon energy, not going into. We are in new moon energy.
6:30, 6:30 in the morning Eastern. Yeah. So that's what, 1 o'clock in the morning for you, Krista?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And so we're in that energy. We're able, this is the time to plant the seeds, right? To plant the seeds, cultivate the garden, plant the seeds so that it will grow. So everything that, Damaris is saying and Gayle is saying about letting go, it is also about planting the seeds, because as great as it is to let go, you have to do something with that space that you're creating. So create it with intention, create it with consciousness, create it in a way that you will evolve, that you will grow and expand in the way that you want to.
Yes. And I love that you said it right now. It's about planting seeds, right?
It is.
Because people don't necessarily realize, all that produce that you've got growing up in the gardens in the springtime, especially the early stuff, those were planted by seed right now. The germination time is now, right? And there will be so much activity happening before you even see leaf one, right?
Exactly.
So now is the time to get those plants, those seeds into the conditions where they can actually sprout, take root, and grow for the year coming up. I love that you put it that way.
In Pluto terminology, I feel like that seed already has been planted before we even came. It was already planted within us. That's why it's a generational thing, and what we're, each of us generationally came here to do. So that seed was planted in Pluto terminology already. It's just allowing it to grow or watering it.
Yeah.
Okay, great point. Absolutely. Okay, cool. Now, today's card of the day. Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords. So here is the messages, right, of what we are now to do, right? The Knight's always the messenger. There's always some message coming. Swords being air, intellect, cutting, right? It is the message of what needs to be cut away and what needs to be defended.
Yeah.
Right?
Very good.
All about that, right? So now is the time. If you haven't been journaling, never too late to start, right? You need to start writing down, because when we don't do that, when we just think about it up here, it doesn't actually take root in transforming our souls. You don't think your way into transformation.
It's
right?
it's funny because I see that card as the Dragon Slayer. I do.
Really?
Yeah. King George with his sword, the Dragon Slayer. Out of all the knights, he's the Knight of Swords. So I see him as the Dragon Slayer, or as your card, Gayle. You're the
Gayle, the Dragon Slayer.
There we go. Well, hopefully I'll be the Dragon Trainer coming up.
There we go.
Very good.
And today's affirmation for all of you out there, we have my sharp mind crafts innovative solutions. And that's what I want you to take with you with that Knight of Swords this week. Your mind will craft innovative solutions to what has you in your rut right now. Okay. All righty. Thank you so much to everyone. Wait, before we do that, we want to congratulate our winner this week. Yay. Congratulations to this week's Woo Woo giveaway winner, Fred Kluth. Thank you so much for being part of Three Crones and the Woo Woo. Please contact Damaris, Krista, or myself to collect your prize. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, including possibly Fred, every week we here at Three Crones and the Woo Woo, we give away a 30-minute reading from one of us Crones. So if you choose me, it'll be an intuitive tarot reading. If you choose Miss Krista, it will be a crystal reading. And if you choose Miss Damaris, it will be a numerology reading. All right. So all you have to do, Fred, is reach out to one of us in our DMs and say, I picked you, and we will get you onto our schedule immediately. Thank you so much for being part of the Coven of Joy. And thank you also to my cohorts in happiness and creativity here. Thank you, Krista. Thank you, Damaris. Thank you to Sue and to Tracy and Harry and Ada and Pilar and everybody who comes back week after week to watch us laugh at each other and have a grand old time. Thank you again to everybody who does their best to make sure that this show comes off without a hitch each week. Love you all, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye.